Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Kenzie and today is just a little writing vlog for working on draft 3 of Project Calliope, my adult fantasy novel. But also I'm having a crisis about my draft, so I might also delve into some other projects. I just wanted to take you along for a little vlog. I am gonna go ahead and get to work. So let's talk about what's happening with Project Calliope. I talked about this in my last vlog, but if you haven't seen that, basically I have been just struggling with, I'm not sure if it's imposter syndrome or just real doubts that have actual foundations, but I have been doubting the strength of this story, the quality of this story, and just struggling to work on it because of those doubts. I'm just worried that this isn't a very good book and I don't know what to do about that. I have been working on some brainstorming though in my writing notebook, which I don't have with me right now, it's at my desk, but in my writing notebook I have been working on brainstorming, just like desperately trying to figure out what to do so I can move forward with this project and finish this draft soon. And luckily I think I have figured out a little bit of a solution, but it is kind of going to throw a wrench in my plans. So basically one of my issues is with the beginning of the novel, which I have changed in every single draft. I have changed how the beginning happens. One of my issues is again with the beginning, and it has more to do with not how the beginning pans out, but how my main character handles the beginning. I think the way that the story happens now, my main character doesn't have enough drive. She's very passive. I think the novel as it is currently, my character is just being pushed along by the story instead of pushing the story along, which is how it really should be. And I think a lot of that problem is rooted in how the beginning of the book happens. But I think I've figured out a way to fix that and kind of give her more, I'm trying to think of what the word is. I think that I've figured out how to make her less passive in the beginning. I do still have a problem where I think that her motivation needs some work, and I've figured out vaguely how to fix that, but not the details of it. My main character has a motivation currently, but I don't feel like it's very strong. And I have figured out a way to not only alter the beginning, but also give her more motivation and more direct influence on the way that the story goes by just tweaking her motivation a little. I just need to figure out what exactly her new motivation is going to be, if that makes sense. I still have my doubts and worries about the story, but I have, I think, kind of figured out some solutions to start with. But the problem with that is that now I am gonna have to rewrite the beginning again. And since I'm partway through draft 3, I thought about going back to the beginning and fixing it before I call draft 3 done. And I might do that, I'm not really sure yet. I think if anything, I'm going to finish the back half of the story first. I'm currently working on chapter 11, so I'm going to finish the rest of the chapters that I haven't touched yet before. And I'm not sure if I will work on the beginning as part of draft 3 or if I'll wait for draft 4 to do that. I'm not really sure yet. Part of me would like to do it in draft 3 just so that draft 4 is more of a line editing thing, but I don't really know yet. And I still have problems to work out with it and things to figure out so that the beginning actually works again. And of course, I still have my doubts and insecurities with this story. That problem hasn't entirely gone away, but thankfully over the last couple of days doing brainstorming work has helped quite a bit, and I feel better about this story. Not good about this story, but I feel better. It's a couple days after the last clip that you saw. I definitely want to get some writing done. I want to get a start on editing this vlog, and I also have a book that I need to take back to the library. We're gonna do all that stuff today, mostly the writing, because that's mainly what I want to be focusing on. I'm hoping to make some good progress today. I feel like I haven't got a good actual editing session in for a long time. It's been a lot of brainstorming and procrastination and stuff, so hopefully today will be a good session. Fingers crossed that things work out and that I can figure out these problems that I'm having. So I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a session before I go to the library. So I'm gonna go ahead and make myself a drink and we'll sit down and do some work. just finished a sprint. It went fine. I was trying to do some re-outlining work, I guess, figuring out what to do with the beginning, and then I had a realization about what might not be working with this book, which is great. It is great to figure that out and great to know what needs work, but it also means that I can't use a lot of what I have. I think I figured out how to fix everything, how to make this a lot more compelling, a lot more interesting, more atmospheric, but it kind of messes some things up. I don't know if what I have will work if I decide to go with this new change. So I'm gonna think about it. I think I need to do a lot of thinking. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the library because I want to get my mind off of it for a little bit. I will figure this out later because I don't want to right now. I'm not gonna think about it. I'll see you at the library. What if I call this draft done, I cut it here, this is the end of draft 3, and I start draft 4 right away, and I just work on my edits in a new draft and draft it fresh and try to make this better from scratch. Very big developments happening. It's later, I think you can see it's pretty dark outside. I went to the library, I came back, I watched a YouTube video, I watched the Christy Ann Jones video about her getting her publishing deal, which I tend to turn back to every time that I'm feeling defeated about my work because it's a very comforting and motivating video. I watched that, I felt a little bit better, I felt motivated to figure out what's going on. I did a voice memo. I also do that when I am working on issues. I tend to pull out my phone and pull out my voice memo app and just stream of consciousness talk out loud as long as it takes for me to figure out the problem. And I think I figured out the problem, or I think I figured out a solution. I think I'm gonna quit draft 3. I think I'm gonna quit draft 3 and start draft 4. Here's the thought process behind that. I have this problem and I figured out a solution for it, which I think significantly improves a lot of aspects of the book. And I think that the best way to tackle integrating that fix is to basically start from scratch and draft this book again. It's revisions, it's rewriting it, so it's not like a draft 1, this would be a draft 4, but it is pretty much going to be starting from a blank Scrivener document and, you know, here and there copy pasting what I want into it, but that's kind of scary, but I also feel kind of good about it. I feel like this could be the right move. It could mean the difference between a just okay novel and a pretty good novel that could possibly go somewhere. So as scared as I am, I think I'm going to call it quits on draft 3. The good news is that that means I have achieved a writing goal for the year. If I really am doing this, then I have finished draft 3, so that's one writing goal down, and I did it before the end of the month, which is another thing I wanted to do. I guess that makes it a little better. It's done. The whole manuscript is officially printed out and ready, and I am so excited to have this done. I know it's not like officially complete because I just decided to be done with it, but it came out to be 61,300 words and 240 pages, and it was kind of a nightmare to print out. I had so many problems. I ran out of black ink, so it printed in blue I think. The printer got jammed a couple times. I messed something up with trying to print it double-sided, and so it's borderline unreadable because it skips all around. It goes from page 35 to page 44 to page 37. I don't know what I did there, but it's done. I just put it in my binder for Project Calliope with draft 1 right here, and I have so much here that I don't think I can add anything else to this binder, so that's kind of cool. I'm really excited to have this done. Excited to move on to draft 4. I'm really looking forward to it, and honestly I think I might do that very soon, so definitely stay tuned for my next vlog because I will be starting draft 4 in that vlog, and super excited to jump into that part of the process. I am just feeling really motivated now that I've figured some stuff out, and motivated by the end of this draft. I think it's going to be really refreshing to start with a blank slate with a fresh document. I hope that you will tune in for the next vlog, and I appreciate you so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, leave me a bee emoji. I know I do the bee emoji a lot, but I like bees, so go ahead and leave me a bee emoji if you made it to the end of this video. I appreciate you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye!